Hello everybody, I'm making a Bitcoin update. Today it's 11th of February. Well, Bitcoin has been in a considerable strange situation where the selling pressure is gigantic and the market couldn't absorb those orders until this region where we see almost 1 year of consolidation prior to the move that led BTC to all-time highs here around $126,000. So what I see here, it's after completing 5 Elliots to the upside. I think this one is the wave 3 because we have a full blast of the OBV. Perhaps here it can work too. So I like to see the waves different than anyone else, but for now let's just assume that BTC found support. I don't like to use this word, but support around this region where we had, as I said, consolidation. So if we put trend lines over here, we had a bullish pattern. It's a megaphone, bullish megaphone, and then we made this move. So as you can see, BTC structure was hollow here. Let me just assume that these candles reveal imbalance, so the prices just kept falling harder and harder because it was hollow, just like here. So we had this little touch, it couldn't hold the 75k, and the zone was completely obliterated. So I am expecting the dollar to go down, the Dixie, and for that reason I'm expecting some strength down here and some buy orders to enter the market, because I previously thought for myself that around these levels BTC couldn't have such demand. So when we came here, this is a zone where we can get demand. But by the way, there's not much liquidity to grab around these levels, but we see these weeks here, they represent liquidity that never was taken. So if that liquidity was never taken and it couldn't handle the swing right there on the 75,025, then we expected this move to happen, but and I say this, it's a big but, I didn't expect just this vicious selling. Not did I expect USD tether here, considering the move to the downside from the latest top of the prior cycle, that we could have this formation that was a W bottom reversal, which target is around 9.45. If we bring the date and price range to the table, then we can get the target right here. So as you can see, the OBV shows many pushes to the upside to the overbought region. I know we can't consider this dominance chart as a normal chart, so we got to take care with the analysis and don't assume that we'll behave just like the regular charts. So as we can see, we have a diversion from this little top here to that one. I don't know when will it play out to the downside, but even if we take this 945, I'm expecting a strong reaction to the downside to fulfill this level around 5% dominance. So today we can go to the 4 hours time frame and we can see another divergence just right here taking place. I'm sorry, it's not a divergence, I'm sorry, it came here, it had a blast to the top, then the OBV was around this zone 50%, and the trend came to the level, to the overbought level. Nevertheless, it indicates strength in the move. So the trend is showing less strength than the prior weeks that we got this movement right here that I'll show you in a second, right here. So this was a really aggressive move. Right now I'm eyeing this level on the 8% to be rejected because it's very important. So as I was speaking, I said we got a rejection here, we got a divergence, but it's not as it seems. So not a divergence, but the level, if we measure the fibs, we have the level here that is rejecting the USD Tether dominance. As you know, when this chart goes up, crypto goes down, and it's a thing of strangeness that when we have the dollar weakness, as the dollar is going down, we see Tether going up, or the stablecoin dominance is going up while Dixie is going down. That's not so natural. Nevertheless, right now we have a formation, megaphone, bearish megaphone, but this chart is really manipulated. So we're having the OBV on balance volume showing that is breaking this trend line right here. I'm expecting the next hours to visit this zone when the price touches the 50%. Usually it keeps going up, so we must go to 4 hours, to 1 hour too, and we see the strength of the trend is going down while the price kept going up right there. So I am expecting a small move to the downside, and measuring the fib levels, 23% to 44. Right now it's not a bullish move. Nevertheless, let's go to Bitcoin again and see what I'm expecting on the smaller time frames. So here we could have a break of the trend, but as you see, the price is retesting the trend line on the downside. So right there we had nice volume, nice reaction, but we need more continuation, perhaps, to take the levels upside and liquidity upside. If we come to the daily, we have a divergence, a bullish divergence right here. As you can see, the OBV is up from here, but the price came down. So we could do this. We could mark this level here to this one and assume it's a bullish divergence. Usually prices tend to go to take this level where the divergence happened. So perhaps we can go to 80,000 and see the reaction there, because it's extremely oversold, and we got a week here. Usually those weeks get filled, so you can see the candle, the daily candle, was aggressive and took more than 50% of the bearish candle. Then you had small volatility, but the setup was to the downside, so anyone who could short here could make a good profit. But anyways, now we have this formation, but it didn't take 50% of the daily candle. So I think the move, it's not finished. We can go there again, but for now I am expecting Bitcoin to try $71,000 around this level. So if we can go get Ethereum chart, the dominance, it against BTC lost 0.03, um, and that tells me that it is having some weakness, and without Ethereum being strong, we cannot expect a good reaction from altcoins if that's what you're thinking about. So each chart shows that we could have another move to the upside because the formation and the candle and the divergence are the same as Bitcoin. I think it was pushed down by Bitcoin around this zone over here. It could have a breakout, but it decided to go south. So anyways, now we have three waves right here, just ABC, and we are working to see if ETH can react on these levels, since it's a good zone to react. Why? Because once again, this was hollow, it had liquidity to grab right here, just like this zone. So imagine if the chart starts going south and it takes the swings, the zone can't handle the selling pressure and BTC's movement, then it made a wave B right here and it pierced through to get this liquidity level. Nevertheless, I think Ethereum chart is very good. It resembles Russell 2000. Here we see extremely oversold levels as well as the majority of altcoins, but nevertheless, I think we have a flat structure right here. When we do this, the first push down, then we had upside, then we came and made a flat. So if you want to do it like this, perhaps the flat will be completed right here, but I'm not expecting $987 because ETH made a good cycle. Everybody says ETH is weak, but the fact is that when it came here, it went up, and if we just call Solana and just put Solana here, override Solana, then you can see that Solana just kept going lower. It could handle this 1980 sorry, $987. So when Solana got to the upside and almost made an all-time high, just like ETH did. So I think they are on the same level right now. ETH is better because here it made a low, a pivot, then it made an all-time high. Solana couldn't make that. So Solana just made this low, then gave us a lower top, higher low, lower high, and then it made another push to the downside where it pierced the bottom here. So right now, as we can see, they are both practically at the same level. So I'm expecting a reaction because, as you can see, too many selling candles, but nevertheless I am looking at this and I will show you why. Because if we assume that this structure is to the upside, since we had the trend to the upside, it's trending higher. So as you can see, it's a bull market, and this is a consolidation structure. So this is a middle structure that can give you continuation. As you know, you have expansion, continuation, and if the trend is up, then we are expecting the trend to still go up. But keep in mind the levels to get in it are around here. So I'll never buy tops or zones in the middle. We have to always identify the areas where we had more trading days, and this is the zone to watch. So if we had more trading days right here, it means it consolidated the structure. And we had a doji on this bottom and a movement to the upside in 5 waves. And right now we have 3, so that means I think that we will see at some point 5 waves to the upside and perhaps come here to the 10,946 dollars. I'm sorry, I'm not native English speaker, and numbers sometimes confuse me. So let's go. Right now there's a bearish divergence because this low, this RSI is right here, so the low was made while the on balance volume was here at this level, and now the price didn't came below, but the OBV did, so we have a bearish divergence, which means it is lacking some strength. Looking to the others, dot dominance. Well, some people say we are having some breakout from alts against BTC, but not right now in my opinion. Yes, this could be a reversal structure, but it's still too young, and we have this week right here that can be fulfilled. So when we look to the Dixie, we are expecting downside to the Dixie right here to the 89 level to take the liquidity right here, and because the USA economy it's not that great at the moment. Jobs just got released, but that those reports always get updated with the real information. So gold keeps going higher. I had a target since $1597. So gold just went up to make another target I had, and I think it will keep going until 6767. Silver did a pretty good job too and broke to the upside from the ascending triangle, and nevertheless they sold silver and it was a blow off top. It will react at the 89 level and keep going because metals will go up if the dollar comes down. What's not that natural is this. If we go to the Russell, then we can see it was following Russell for a very long time right there, but at some point, as you can see from 2020, the CV19, it made the same tops and bottoms as the Russell did, and the structure here is the flat I was talking about, the flat structure that is a continuation and correction pattern. But it was going okay until we got at this low, and then BTC came down with the dollar, but Russell and the stock market kept going up. So this is what I am taking into account to say that perhaps it can follow through this move, perhaps a little delayed. If you do the same with the XRP chart, then you see something very interesting. XRP followed Russell too, but it was a little different because it went to catch up the movement, this movement here. XRP went sideways while Russell was going up, then XRP went to catch up with Russell. The same could happen again. So I am not calling the bottom of BTC right now, but we have a strong level to beat right here that can give us upside until 96,000 or 107,000. This point where we got the retracement from this structure, and we have three waves too. So I am expecting some kind of reaction that can give more clarity to the altcoin sector. And another thing before I'm going to stop the video is that when we look at BTC dominance, we are at the levels where major alt seasons happened. So this cycle is very different, because when we had alt season, we were right here, and when we had bear markets, we were right here at around 40%. So right now we are at 60%, almost 60, not 60 but close. And it's different, because if BTC is right here and right there, then besides altcoins going down non-stop, they took a beating for 2 years, with smaller exceptions. The AI sector, for example, like coins like Render and Injective and Sui and others like Fetch AI and so on. So those performed well, but coins like Near and Avalanche and Polygon, those took a beating, so those never made any comeback, like Cardano, for example. So if we have this dominance right here and Bitcoin starts losing it, it will be something that never happened on this crypto market. I never saw something like this happening, because it always was like that. When BTC was at these levels, then it would fall down, and when it came right here, there were many coins already making all-time highs. So another thing, just to clarify, at BTC, as you can see this chart, ETH never made a comeback against BTC and followed through since 2022 non-stop after the merge, and it came to this level, the latest level, the bottom, and it made an impulsive reaction. So I saw that some influencers say that perhaps it will go here again, and then it will bounce and make a double bottom, but I don't think that's the case, because this is impulsive and this is just three waves at the moment. So if it starts losing it, then yeah, it will come to this zone to test it, but perhaps it can make a comeback right from there, because there were days without volatility compressing the price action, just some trap to make this low here and trap the bears. Then it went full on to take those levels at the left. But now the interesting one, it's when we do ETH or Sol against ETH, we can see that the story is a little different. It's telling me that it will outperform Solana for the next 2 years or so, because look at this. Solana came from the bottom, made a full-blown expansion, and came to the tops right there at 0.08. As you can see, this is a top formation. You have I'm sorry, I forgot to say this name in English, but it's not a falling wedge, it's a rising wedge. I'm sorry, it's a rising wedge. Made this rising wedge, losing strength, smaller tops, and then it went south to make a descending triangle. So if this will play out, perhaps we'll have something like this, and the valuation between those two tells me that when the market shows some strength, it will be Ethereum to outperform Solana, because Solana already made a top against BTC and against ETH. And that is just a consideration, because if you are thinking about buying Solana, perhaps it's not the best time to do it, since we are correcting. And against BTC, Sol didn't make a new all-time high and already lost some structure. Even if you take this trend line, you can see, besides it has only 2 points of touch, but it already lost several structures. And this one, it is a bearish structure again, because you have a top right here, and then the lower high. The top is lower than the latest top right here. So if we have a changing trend, then we must assume that the trend is going down, because it went up from here, it made an intermediary zone, it consolidated, but it's losing the strength. So you can do this. Yes, you can tell me you got a triangle right here, but nevertheless the first expansion was here. This is just another structure that, in my opinion, will do something like this, because we will come here and then we can go there again, making another structure just like it. So this is how I think it will play out. And usually you have to use the valuations against coins to make your decision to enter the coin or not, because having buying some altcoins, you want them to outperform BTC and Ethereum. If those altcoins are going down against those two, there's no point holding those altcoins, and you're better off waiting to see some strength in the market. When people say that altcoins are a scam, that is nonsense, because at least they can be a scam because it's a VC play or something, but you can make money on them. Yeah, and I will give you some clarity here, because if you bought SUI in the latest cycle, it outperformed BTC a lot, and I entered right here, and I got out at $5, which in BTC prices it's 0.00005. So you have almost 500% of profit, and now of course it is correcting. So when you enter coins, you have to make sure that those coins are not downtrending against BTC or ETH, and that is a great lesson for today. So one more thing, excuse me my English, excuse me, because it's not my mother tongue, so excuse me the pronunciation and the slowness, because I'm trying to think in two languages at the same time, and that is not easy, especially with this market. So coming here, SUI against Ethereum, and if you want, you can leave your comments down in my Substack. I am collaborating with Crypto Whales PT. You can find me there. My Twitter is the double zero noir on X, so you can find me on X with that handle, like the Substack one. So talking about SUI against Ethereum, the same thing happened. It outperformed Ethereum during 2 years, almost 900%. Got out around 0.1618. Did not enter it again. So I am waiting to see where it goes, and if it can sustain the trend, the bullish trend. It's an uptrend, so there's no reason to just sell the coins and never look at it again, because it's a new project. with lots of stuff happening, strong narrative, good layer one. Tech wise, it is a good layer one. Tokenomics not that great, nevertheless it's a coin worth a look at. So another thing, it's XRP, which I think it's one of the oldest coins, so it has lots of liquidity, and you can count that it has absorption of selling pressure, not like other coins that just go down, like APT or SAE or something like that. This coin, it's a strong coin, and everybody knows the XRP community. So we had 5 waves down. XRP loves to trade in 3 waves on the smaller time frames. Right now I am expecting another reaction, because we saw 3 waves here and it's not enough to call for an upside move. I would like to see something like this, this, and that, so we can have more clarity on what the price is doing. At least we should visit around $1.65. Just one heads up, like my entry point was around 0.55 cents. You can see that the OBV went just ballistic down, and I got in around here. I am trading XRP for a long time. First time entered around here, then sold there, then sold around this pump, then entered again here and sold $330, and entered around $1.80, $1.60 again. So XRP wise, the correction may not be over, but this structure is a triangle, and a symmetrical triangle that gave you this wave right here. I think the setup was something like ABCD, ABCDE Elliott triangle, Elliott setup, and then it broke out and made this higher high, this all-time high, $364. Now, the way I look at this chart is, yes, you have all these levels, all these hollow levels to come down, but as I understand, this zone may act as support. And I mean not support like the price won't go down from here, not that, just a level to be mindful about, since charts always react to previous all-time highs zones or retest to the all-time highs, and it broke out. So it would be a shame if it kept going down, looking at the OBV. And XLM, almost the same chart, but didn't broke out yet. I hope you like this first video for you. I'm trying to build some followers, so we can exchange ideas, and maybe later I'll talk a little bit more about why I decided to make Substack with videos for all of you. I'm trying to help too. Nevertheless, sorry, I forgot. Nevertheless, again, excuse me for the slowness. You can put this to speed and and just watch it 2 times or 3 if you want, if you like it. I'm counting on you to come back. If you want, leave some questions down in the comments. I'll try to respond to everyone, and we see each other soon with another update. Take care and thank you.